day 9 of the 30 days of Bridechilla wedding planning. And this is a fun one, but also a hard one and also a fun one. Today, the topic is you are comfortable spending $30,000 on your wedding and your partner wants to spend $70,000. Quite challenging when it comes to budgeting and making your your ideas of how much money you should be spending align. This is a really common conversation that happens in the Bridechilla community, our private Facebook group. And by the way, I don't know if I introduced myself. I'm Alicia, the founder of Bridechilla and host of the Bridechilla podcast. Always professional. And I decided to do these videos to give you a really sort of short mini course, an overview of the 300 plus episodes of the Bridechilla podcast that I have produced over the past 3 years. And the topic of money and budgeting is something that I think a lot of people avoid because it takes the fun away from things, but also it can be really hard down the track when you don't know how much money you have to spend or how much money you are comfortable spending or have access to spending. And then also, if your partner and you are not on the same level of thinking, if you aren't communicating or you don't find, for example, if you think 30 grand, I'm just pulling this number out of my ass, by the way. It's not something you should be spending if you don't have it. This is just a made up number. If you think you should be spending 30 and your partner's like, yeah, I was thinking more like 2. It's quite a different situation. So I did speak about earlier on in the series, I think it was episode 2, that in the Bridechilla Survival Guide and Bridechilla Field Guide, actually, I stand corrected, I have a whole page of questions you should ask your partner and things you should talk about before you start booking anything. Like, do not plan or book a thing until you have a discussion and an agreement about what you think is right to spend. Now, we are in the period of our lives, I'm going to speak very generally about people in their 20s and 30s, where there are other expenses coming our way. There's possibly mortgages and travel and buying cars and moving houses and homes and paying off college tuition. These are really big expenses. And then when you throw a wedding into the mix, it can be really stressful because you want to create a great day, you want to have an awesome party, you might have expectations about what you want it to look like or what you want it to feel like, and sometimes those expectations don't match reality and also don't match what your partner thinks is in plan for you guys. So without having a conversation and being really honest and annoyingly upfront about it, it really makes things messy. And I can guarantee that if you sit down, as well as saying, what are your expectations of the day? Like, what's important to you, band or DJ, or, maybe you want to spend all your money going to Italy and getting married there with 2 people. Great. But before you sort of really lock in those details, you're going to have to come to some agreement as to what, as a couple, you can afford to spend. What if you are having wedding donors or family members contributing? That's what I call them, wedding donors. You'll learn more soon. Coming in and contributing funds that you know where you're going to allocate those funds and how much you've got to spend. I know a lot of people find talking about weddings and money, especially this sort of celebration, people go, oh, talking about money's gross, it's dirty, I don't want to do it. And you're like, actually, no, shut up, that's wrong. Talking about money in this situation, with your partner especially, is really important. And if you don't do it, it can cause a lot of trouble down the track. I just think it's worth sitting down with a big glass of wine or a stiff coffee, I don't know what that is, and just saying, look, I was thinking 20,000. What do you think? And then if they say, well, I was thinking 40, then maybe you could go, all right, well, let's look at how we're going to afford this, or what do we have to give up to do it, or how do we invest our money, or how long will it take us to save this money, or are we willing to go into debt? Don't do it, to pay for this thing. So just get the hard conversations done first and early, and I promise you, it is the path to bridechilladom. It is the path to freedom of choice and ease and enjoying this process and not feeling the burden of having these big decisions hanging over your head. That's what I'm saying. So there it is. I can tick that one off the list. Gee, I'm enjoying doing these videos. I hope you're enjoying it. And if you have a friend or a partner that you think it would benefit from watching these flicks, these films, I think you should share what I'm doing. I'm doing a video a day for 30 days, and hopefully by the end of the 30 days, we'll cover a lot of stuff that's important to you to get done, and then you can just get on with your life and be a Bridechilla. I'd love for you to check out the podcast. All you need to do is search on iTunes, Spotify, Android, Bridechilla, and you will find me. And I produced over 300 episodes of the show, so strap yourself in. You will get to know a lot about me and hear this voice a lot. But I think it's worth it. Thank you so much for watching. Looking forward to chatting with you again tomorrow. And if you have any thoughts, comments, or maybe you've got a different suggestion about how to talk about money with your partner, I would love to learn more. Leave thoughts in the comments section below. And if you want to check out the Bridechilla guides, simply go to bridechillastore.com where you can grab your Bridechilla starter pack. Happy days.